Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to Cutting Up with the Crawfords. And today we have something a little different, something more vulnerable, something more transparent that Derrick and I are going to be talking about today. Um, we're talking about marriage, sickness, health, and yeah, just chronic illness and showing up anyway. And I think this one's going to be a little more difficult for me.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because I've walked alongside of you while you have dealt with chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
And while, we didn't have answers, we went to doctor visit after doctor visit and had colonoscopies. And the whole colonoscopy prep is just,
It's fun. It's fun.
no, it's not. And yeah, it was hard.
It still is hard.
Yeah.
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 So what you want to cut up about it?
Well, first, let me say, I'm Dari Crawford, and this is Derrick Crawford, and we are the Crawfords. We're going to be cutting up chronic illness and what that looks like in your marriage and how you just show up anyway for each other, how you support one another, what your community looks like during a chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little bit of a background, Derrick has Crohn's disease
Mm-hmm.
and I have rheumatoid arthritis. So we both have autoimmune diseases, which means our bodies are fighting against themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we have had to endure discomfort, pain, and
Altered lives.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah. This is really, really vulnerable for me to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we were talking about what are we going to talk about, next podcast, and so then I've by God's grace, my Crohn's is a lot better. Living with it today is a lot better than it was, a year and a half ago, 2 years
Yeah.
ago, 3 years ago. Um, how long have I dealt with it? Since like 2018 now?
Uh, I feel like it started in 2010. Yeah, we're this episode. We're just
Well,
getting right to it.
that's when when I was, yes, you're right. When I was diagnosed, uh,
Not in 2010. Sorry, Dwayne was in 10th grade.
yeah,
So whatever that was, it wasn't 2010 because that means we were not in North Carolina yet.
yeah,
So we were here, and
yeah.
Dwayne was in 10th grade. So whatever year that was,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
um,
That's right.
that's when it started. Just a lot of different things were going on at that time. Like
Mm-hmm.
looking back at it, it was difficult. But listen, so we're gonna really get down and talk about like how we have.
What it is, how you cope with it, what your marriage is supposed to look like through it, what our marriages look like through it, and all that stuff. So we just hope that this episode will help somebody out there that's living with a chronic illness, and just know that you're seen, you're heard.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
people are going through something. As me and you always say, if we look down our neighborhood, each house has got something going on.
Oh yeah, everybody has something. So if you're like he said, if you're living with it, if you are the person that has the chronic illness, and or if you are the person that is taking care of someone that has chronic illness, or your spouse, or
Yeah.
your family member, or your friend, like this is for y'all.
Yeah.
It's for everybody. Yeah.
So let me tell them what Crohn's is.
Yep.
And I remember at one point, someone told me about Crohn's, and I was probably in my it was probably 18, 20 years, and they talked about the pain, and I was like, bro, I don't want to get Crohn's. Like, just the way they talked about it and the pain that you go through.
Yeah.
And then I remember after the colonoscopy, you were with Dr. T.
Wait, no, go back to the first colonoscopy you had. 'Cause you had like
I was like 24 years old.
Yeah, you had. Then this was funny. Not that he needed a colonoscopy, but okay, he had just had a colonoscopy. He was still under anesthesia, and you were like in your 20s, and he ended up having like some polyps in his intestines, right? And so he's got like the hospital gown on. Of course, there's nothing on under that. And so he's laying in the bed, and as he's in the bed, he's like lifting his leg up like this. Y'all, I was like, oh, sorry. I was like, sir, put your leg down.
I think at one time you started holding my leg down, but I don't remember at all.
I'm like, put your leg down. Your gown is up, and everybody can see.
I was probably, you're supposed to fart after you get a colonoscopy because they shoot. Yeah, because they shoot you up with air. You're not supposed.
Oh.
You're not supposed to leave. You're not supposed to leave until
with all that gas. I just feel like that could.
Just push on my, like you do a little baby. Just
Yeah.
pull your legs up and.
Total side note. I feel like you have to do that when, like, I had a hysterectomy, and then also having children and all of that. It's like they tell you your bowels have to move before you leave the hospital.
I just had a fart.
That's
what
torture.
they told you. Yeah, no, you have to.
They're like, Miss Crawford, did your bowels move? Yes. Psych. Anyway, Crohn's disease. Tell them about it.
Yeah, Crohn's disease is the inflammation of the intestines. And so you could have it in, I guess, various parts of your intestines. Mm-hmm. And so if they're inflamed, they don't digest things the right way. And there's pain with it. There's gas. There's bloating. There's upper level gas. There's more pain. And at one time before I was actually diagnosed, there's a lot of going to the bathroom. It was like 4 or 5 times a day. I was scared to even drive down the street because you didn't want to get caught in traffic, which I did. I mean, I've went over 3 lanes at 40 miles an hour trying to get to a Chipotle to use the bathroom. Because the urgency hits and you gotta
go right away. You gotta
go. So yes, very vulnerable podcast here, but yes, as I tell everybody, I'll keep it PG. Crohn's is very crappy, and I mean that literally, figuratively.
No pun intended.
And all the pun intended. All the pun intended. No pun intended. So so that's and. They call it an autoimmune disease. I think we put our bodies under so much stress that sometimes and we don't have the right outlets and all that other stuff that your body just starts going against itself.
Yeah. Side note, y'all, we are not WebMD. We're not doctors. Okay. We probably know absolutely very little about Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis, and I know there are specialists out there, and feel free to chime in I am
a specialist
right. If you are dealing with a chronic illness, please comment. Please, message us. You can DM us on Instagram. You can comment on YouTube, whatever. Just let us know how you're doing and how you are progressing with your illness.
So you have RA.
Yeah, I have RA, and that was weird going through that, the initial part, because I remember one morning waking up, and I was like, because you get up so much earlier than me, and I like to sleep.
I gotta get up with the Lord.
Yes, and I remember you were already up and downstairs, and I'm like panicking and telling you to come upstairs because my hand was like, I had trigger finger is kind of what it was called.
Locked in.
And like my hands would just
Yeah.
lock up. I had these nodules on my wrists. My feet would hurt. I mean, there was I remember I was working out religiously, and my feet would just hurt. And I was like, okay, maybe I just can't wear heels anymore. Like, that's cool. I'm not gonna wear heels. I'm find some cute flats. I'm gonna wear some tennis shoes. No, my feet would just
Yeah.
ache. Even without shoes, they would ache. Side note, check out these shoes this brother has on. Like, how old are these shoes?
I got these at the Landover Mall outside of
PG County.
FedEx Field
Uh-huh.
when I was working for the Redskins in probably 2001. 24 years old.
We do have a shoe.
And the Jordans, they were on sale, bro. I saw them at the Concords on sale at that time.
And we live
in the
Concord.
Foot Locker. Yeah, imagine that. Anyway,
Huh.
feet. Go back to your feet.
So I was mesmerized by your feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, my feet were hurting. Just I could not figure it out. I had some. I was like, maybe I'm getting like a bunion. Remember that? I was
Yes,
like,
yes.
Maybe I'm getting a bunion, man.
was
My
like, it's
foot
not a
is just
bunion.
aching. Like, and then I was like, maybe I got. Is it like gout or something? Is it what is going on? And finally went to the doctor, went to a specialist, and it was kind of like that doctor was saying I had like it was like a thin line, right? To
Yeah.
teeter between rheumatoid arthritis, RA, and lupus.
Yeah.
And so I had some characteristics of lupus,
Mm-hmm.
but more characteristics of RA. So
Right.
they just went with, okay, it's RA. And I think I started on some other medication initially, and I was like, this is not working.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started I take my injections every other week of Humira, and that was life-changing, where my joints don't hurt. Every now and then they will. I can tell, like, if I eat something, if I'm eating more gluten or dairy, my joints will hurt because it's foods that cause inflammation. So that's the inflammation in my body. Like, my knees will ache, my hips will ache, that type of thing. I had, was it really tennis elbow that I had, I wonder?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. But I had tennis elbow and
Yeah, but you did the
PRP.
PRP for that.
Yeah. And then just the RA and taking the Humira really did help. So
Yeah.
not in any pain. I remember struggling. I was on steroids for a while. You were on steroids. The flare-ups suck.
Yeah. Yep.
Flare-ups suck.
They do. I thank God for medicine and working through our doctors and helping to find out what it is that we have, and so I've been on many different medicines.
You have, yeah.
So I started out on Entyvio. Everybody, you never
Entyvio.
Yep. So that's
Wait, did I kind of carry that note?
He did.
Okay.
We're having stuff at church this week, so you might want to go be part of the praise team.
Okay.
Yes. Make a cheerful noise unto the Lord.
Cheerful.
Cheer wine. So I was on Entyvio, and then I went to. So Entyvio is a 1 hour infusion, so I have to go to the doctor. I had to go to the doctor started out every 8, and then went to every 4, trying to.
Well, it was like every 8, and then I feel like it went to 6.
It went to 6, and then it finally went to 4. Yeah.
Because we were trying to figure out, like, it's not working. We're not. We're in a constant flare up.
Yep. So then after Entyvio, we went to Stelara.
Oh, Stelara.
Stelara was an injection that I did every 8 weeks. Started out 8, then went to 4, went to 6, and then went to 4.
And Stelara was what we did at home.
Yeah. You gave me the injection one time, and you said I'm not doing that again. So I gave the injection to myself.
So let's just be clear. Humira is an injection pen, right? You just stick it in, pow, and it's done. I still can feel it, like it stings. Stelara was a syringe, and I was having to do that, and I think
You did it one
I did it
time.
and like sticking, like cleaning the area, and then sticking it in his stomach.
And then you got to slowly, you have to hold it in there, and then you slowly push it in
It
all the
was
way until
just,
all the medicine goes in.
and I don't like needles. I
Yeah.
think the time that I did it, you bruised, and I'm like, did you bruise after I did it, or
I think I did one time. I bruised one
yeah,
time, and maybe it was, yeah. She hurt me. I'm just kidding.
on accident?
I
On
don't.
accident.
I don't think you did. I don't think you bruised me. I don't remember that.
So you went off. You
So then
switched?
after Stelara, I'm currently on Avzola, which is the generic version of Remicade. That is a 2-hour infusion
In office.
in the office
Yeah.
every 8 weeks. So I go to the office every 8 weeks to get an infusion. And Avzola seems to have done the best.
Yeah.
Well, but currently,
Medication wise, I
yes,
think it has done the best.
yes. But currently, with our new insurance, because we had to, since we don't have insurance through an employer anymore, we have we purchased our own insurance, and we're currently working through trying to get on
Both of our medications.
Yeah, on the program from the manufacturer to have it paid for. So right now they're looking to switch me to Remicade, which would be
The
brand name from Johnson and Johnson. So Johnson and Johnson has a program where if you're on private insurance, you can supposedly get the medicine.
Yeah, same thing for me is, we're on private insurance and trying to navigate all of that. I have to call tomorrow.
It's all new for us because
Yeah.
we've been on employee insurance since 2000, 1999, 2000.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll keep y'all updated on that.
Yeah. So if anybody knows anything to help us there, Johnson and Johnson, call us.
I think Humira is with AbbVie.
AbbVie.
Yeah, I feel like it's AbbVie.
Yeah. So that's kind of the life that I live right now. Is every 8 weeks, I would say the way I feel right now, which I haven't felt like this, like I said, in 2 years. So being in a flare for me it does a lot of different things. Mentally, it goes, oh, am I going back to where I was when I didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to travel anywhere, and then I basically needed to be on the couch, and like I had to work in sprints and then take a nap, and then work whatever and then take a nap, because I have no energy.
Yeah.
And then I mean, thank God for Justin Jordan, because in order for my body to react right, I have to get 8 hours of sleep. I have to have low stress in my life.
Wait. You never get 8 hours of sleep.
Well,
you're more like a 6-hour guy.
Okay. Well, I should be getting. I should give me 7. I need 7 hours of sleep.
How many do I need?
About 25.
You're not wrong.
So I got to work out.
You take your medicine.
I have to take my medicine. I have to eat right, which means people go, what can't you eat? I just say what I do eat. I eat grilled chicken, grilled shrimp, grilled salmon, or 131 Maine. Got that rainbow trout.
Yeah.
And I usually eat some form of cassava, and I make my own breakfast, which consists of chickpeas and peanut butter.
And maple syrup.
That's about 30 grams of protein in my breakfast. Plus,
you have other things.
Plus, I do
have
a shake.
Snacks and things like that. So we'll talk about that.
But so I need I have to, diet, exercise, low stress, and I have to have to sleep. Those 4 things. If I don't have those 4 things, it's usually not a good day. And I think with all the different things that we got going on in our life right now, I think I'm feeling some anxiety and some stress.
Yeah.
hopefully that's what's put me into a flare, and not my body rejecting the medicine or saying, all right, you've ate this food enough for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm now rejecting this food or whatever. So, but that's where I am. That's where it is. It's a true thorn in my side.
Yeah.
And Darius heard me say this. I long for heaven in a new body and a great feast with the king and all those things.
You want to get to heaven and eat that Cinnabon, don't you?
Y'all, when you walk into Concord Mills Mall and go to the movies, Cinnabon is right there. And I always tell Darius, like, when I get to heaven, like, I just hope, welcome me in. Well done, my good faithful servant. Here's a Cinnabon with pecans,
waiting for you,
extra
Derrick.
extra pecans, extra icing, and a milkshake to walk it down. And since
Milkshake to walk it down, to
wash it down, yeah, to wash it down, yeah, I got to walk it off to wash it down
that
and go.
is gonna. My stomach is gurgling just thinking about that.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have no gurgles in heaven. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be that perfect food, no impurities. Like, it's been prayed over. It's been
Not prayed over. Bless the hands that prepared it.
yeah, perfect hands, perfect.
Thank you, Lord.
And I mean, in actuality, I don't think, when we die and go to heaven, that's a temporary spot, and I really don't know if we eat there. But when Christ comes back and he sets up that new heaven and that new earth, yeah, looking forward to that feast.
All right, let's talk about.
You want to talk about the most unpleasantness of Crohn's?
Sure, we can go there. What's the most unpleasantness of Crohn's disease?
So one of the most embarrassing times with Crohn's is, one, if you've had Crohn's and you haven't, someone said, I saw somebody do something the other day. There's a comedian on Instagram or something. His name's Justin Nunley, and like he always takes a clip, and then it goes over to him. Like, and the girl said, "If you haven't, she goes, I've never crapped my pants." She goes, you "Wait till you turn 30." You know what I mean? And it's like, once you turn 30, you're gonna, at some point in your life, you will have crapped your pants. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. In my adult age, yes. That's embarrassing. There's times where I have to.
I knew that.
There's times where I have to do a stool sample, and the most embarrassing one was when I did the stool sample, and whatever you throw away.
I didn't know that we were going to talk about.
I had put that in the bag, and the bag ripped.
Just hold on. Let me set the scene. It's a cold winter night. Actually,
it was in the morning. It was in the morning.
So you need to know like the whole backstory. Deja's in her room. I think Dwayne's at college. I'm in my office, and I had therapy at the time. So I was on with my therapist. Shout out to Megan. I love you, girl. And
I got the same therapist. Shout out to Megan.
Derrick did his stool sample first thing in the morning. He had to go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. So as he's walking from our bedroom to downstairs, the bag rips. The bag has a hole in it. And he's dripping poop all throughout the hallway. So he's like yelling. And I'm like, Megan, because we're on Zoom, like virtual, whatever, therapy. And I'm like, Megan, hold on. I don't know what's going on. I need to see what's up with my family. And then I go out into the hallway and I see what is going on. And I'm going back, like, I've come back to the screen and I'm like, Megan, I got to go. There's poop on the floor. Like, I got to get it up. We all hands on deck. And
it was the worst.
I don't look at that as that's embarrassing. I don't know. For me, I didn't feel
I don't feel like it's embarrassing. It just sucks.
yeah.
It was like, why do I have to fool with this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I am a all of an adult. I don't feel like playing with my poop. It's kind of like what I was like. Why, God? Why do I have to fool with this? Is how I was, and I've been upset about it. I've been angry. I've asked why, and we've I think me and I come to the conclusion because I would go hard. I would run at 100 miles an
Yeah.
hour. I hadn't dealt with the stresses that I've had in my life, working for an NFL football team, and different things. It's just been stressful, and helping your kids navigate and not having an outlet like therapy and all that stuff. I think, my body just started to reject itself,
I
and I am mad. I still feel mad. I'm mad this week that I'm going through a flare, and then it takes me, like I said, it takes me back, and then I start to spiral and be in
yeah. Yeah.
anxiety of, am I going back to the way it was?
Yeah.
And it
It's
is,
difficult.
it's difficult. It's not fun. I mean, I've never even asked what the life expectancy is of me if, being on Crohn's. Is it, you had Deja go. Deja said Dari can go to, mommy can go to the retirement home, but dad can't because he's got too many things he can't eat. So, yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna keep you. She's gonna take care of you though. She's gonna
She
send me
can't take
away.
care of what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? As of right now,
She's gonna. These kids, they're gonna take care of you. They might send me away.
anyway,
No.
y'all. Anyway,
Yeah, I think
it
it's
sucks. I would use a different word right now, but
it does suck,
yeah,
like real bad.
yep.
How in all that suckiness, um, how have you seen God, or where have you seen God in the midst of all of that?
I've seen his. I've seen him work through doctors. I've
Yeah.
seen God work through medicine. I've seen him answer prayers
Mm-hmm.
because at a point where I was, my quality of life was like, and most people don't know how bad my quality of life was.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I think we didn't share the full like details
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah. It's and like when you see somebody, you don't know what's going on the
Well,
inside,
that's the thing.
mentally, physically, spiritually, all those things. And so, I could hide it at some points, but then again, I couldn't. I mean, at my lowest, when I had to have, when I say at my lowest, at probably the worst point
Mm-hmm.
was when I was probably 100. I never told you how low I got on the
Mm-hmm.
until like way after.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was 153 pounds,
Yeah.
and no energy, and so I saw God take me from that
Mm-hmm.
and restore, being in prayer and more prayer and more prayer, and just seeing how He's used medicine, doctors, and a medical journal where I learn and try to diet
Yeah.
that I happen to stumble on and just read about it. Crohn's for middle schoolers and the
Mm-hmm.
type of diet they should be on, and I said, I'm trying that,
Mm-hmm. You
and
did. I remember you came to me with that.
my quality of life just changed drastically with with all that.
Yeah.
So I've seen God work. I've seen Him use it to relate to other people.
Yeah.
And in actuality, if you go down the list, it is a disability in today's terms of disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And and dealing with my therapist, those are all the things that I had to really deal with Megan, because when I was, up until first grade, I was sick a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was bubble boy, or you're always sick, or, because I had asthma and was always dealing with asthma and asthma attacks and whatever. And I'm a very, very independent person.
You absolutely are. It's so
And
annoying
so,
sometimes. Like, I love this man, but he's just like, no, I don't need help. I don't need you to do this. I'm like, but I want to. You don't let people bless you. What's that about? We'll talk about that on another podcast.
that was part of being independent bubble boy. I was like, I don't need nobody. And then God
You
showed
need
me,
me?
God showed me that
Do you need me?
God showed me
That you need me.
I love you so much.
Stupid.
That I need a whole host of people
Yeah.
around me to do this thing called life.
Yeah.
I need a great inner circle of people, which we have.
It's
Shout out to our inner circle.
our squad,
Yeah.
as Pastor E. Mace would say. You gotta have your squad.
You gotta have your squad to hold you accountable and uh, and have your back and be able to go to. I have the kids praying and watchful or whatever. Even though when I fall asleep on the couch, they're always loud when they come downstairs.
They are so loud. Okay, listen.
And a great wife that's praying and caring and
Why was I last? But okay, whatever.
save the best for last.
Okay. What do you think Crohn's disease did to our marriage? Meaning, like, yeah, how do you think that?
It slowed us down. For sure. Kept us from the hustle and bustle. It doesn't mean as much anymore.
Yeah.
The time on the just hanging out, or we've been watching a lot of podcasts lately, or 2019 sermons, or what, it's this
FNBC sermons, like we're in person, but we go back and watch those as well.
Yeah. So you have those, and we have all the rom-coms that we watch, and
But I mean, like,
it's
yes.
slowed.
Yeah.
It's slowed down where we're not as worried about the hustle. Different things mean more now than
Yeah.
things. The things that weren't important. There's other things that seem very much. How do I want to say this?
Take your time. Take your time. Isn't that what I feel like the congregation says to the pastor?
Yeah.
Take your time, pastor.
Things we thought we were important aren't as important as we thought they were.
Yeah. Things we place value on
Yep.
are not as valuable as we thought. It did slow us down. I absolutely agree with that. It slowed us down to the point that we weren't doing things that we didn't want to do anymore. It also made us realize that we were doing so much, and a lot of it just wasn't appreciated. I feel like that's something when you have to tell somebody no, and they get an attitude about it. You're like, hold on, you're really not for us anyway. Like, I'm trying to tell you that my husband is over here suffering, and we don't know what is going on, and you just think about yourself.
Yeah.
So that right there is like, maybe you're not for us.
If God
And
is
that's
for
okay,
us.
right? That's okay. I'm glad we found out, in that season of our lives. So what has, all right, we've slowed down. We've stopped doing all the things. How has it brought us closer? And that's a question that I'm asking myself. So my perspective is, seeing him go through all of the things, right? The lack of energy, just laying on the couch and not wanting to go out in a sense of like wanting to go out to eat, wanting to go different places and want to hang with friends and can't do that. And I was frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is stupid, God. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why did you do this to our family?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I have to sit in here with him. Like, and listen, that's what I was thinking. That's what the enemy was putting in my head, that I have to sit in here with him. I have to do this. I have to do that.
Yep.
And God just met me during that time. And if you don't put them shoes down on the
My
ground,
legs don't go that way. God. I hurt my leg today squatting. P.S. Don't squat.
Just keep your feet down. So I had to change, and I had to allow God. Thank the Lord that He was still He was pursuing my heart and humbling me in the process. Where it's like, Dari, you don't have to take care of your husband. You get to.
Get to take care of me. That's right.
You get to. And going back to the story of when the bag had a hole in it and there was on the ground, I didn't think of it like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I get to do this with my husband. These are the vows that we took before God, that for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And this is our sickness that we may have to deal with for the rest of our life.
For richer or poor.
We are dealing with the richer or poor right now. Come on, Jesus.
Mm.
But yeah, I had to change my perspective. I know there was, I'm going to tell him about it. There was one time where several times, you just can't trust a fart. It's a shark.
That's never happened to me.
So one night we're in bed and
I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter.
something shattered. No. So he
Went out on the.
Yeah, I guess he passed gas. I don't know. I was knocked out. But he jumped up, and so it made me jump up. And then he was like looking on the mattress or looking on a sheet or whatever, and it was something on there. And so I didn't think at that time. That's when I knew, like, I was saved, right? Like, I didn't think at that time, oh, like, this is because I have made sleep an idol. Excuse me. I didn't think, oh my gosh, he's waking me up. I was like, no. This is clearly something that's uncomfortable and probably is embarrassing for my husband. And you know what? I'm glad that he is doing this around me and I get to help him. So we got up, changed the sheets and everything, and he showered, and we got back into bed, and it was like nobody ever said, oh, we have to do this for one another. It was just, I didn't skip a beat. It was like you get up and you help and you sort everything out, change the sheets, shower, get back in bed. Like, literally, that's when I knew. I was like, girl, you save. Like, not only
You
that,
save.
love this man.
Love
I
this
am
man.
willing to change your poop. I would do that for you.
She's a keeper.
She would have kept me though. I'm trying to tell you.
She's a keeper.
Yeah,
She's your queen.
So not only was the Lord working on him, and as he was questioning and having like tons of questions, like, why is this happening? And
I still question.
Yeah,
I still question.
The Lord was working on me. Like, I know that we are married for a reason. Like this, you are like you are my best friend. And it is truly in sickness and health that I will stand by you. The most So I don't think that that was difficult for me. The difficult part for me was explaining it to people.
It's still hard to explain it to people, and people are so nice because
They
they
are.
want to show great hospitality,
Because listen, people love us,
and they're
okay?
like, oh, well, and so I just started telling people. I said, look, I'll I'll go to breakfast with you, but I'm just drinking water. You eat whatever you want. I'm good with it, right? Or hey, if I come over, I'm not going to eat,
Yeah.
whatever. And some people have, I mean, Danielle does a great job. Like
Oh
when she
yeah,
does
they take
something,
care of
yeah,
us.
she'll cook the chicken breast, and she does the cassava pasta. It's awesome.
She
And
even
then
has
she makes me,
snacks for you.
yeah. And then it's not just for like that meal. I'm like, I'm going home with a whole thing
Another
of
meal. Yeah.
grilled chicken breast
A
and
couple meals.
cassava
Excuse me.
pasta
What is going on with
for the
me?
week. Yeah. So, but there's other like people don't know. It's just like, dude, I'm gonna come, but I'm not gonna be able to eat anything, and that's okay. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh, but I wanted it. I'm just, bro,
Yeah.
bro, it's good.
It's side note, Matt makes amazing food for you.
Matt,
He always
oh my
cares for you.
gosh, he made that shrimp. He made a form of shrimp and grits I can eat, but it wasn't grits. It was with
Mashed
mashed cassava.
cassava, delicious.
Ooh, then he did it with a salmon and did the same cassava. Man,
It's delicious. It is delicious.
delicioso.
So that for
Yes.
me has been the most difficult part is explaining to people what he can eat, explaining to people that
What it is.
yeah, what it is and all the details of that, and then also explaining to people that hey,
Buster, what it is right now. Buster, what it is right now. Sorry.
explaining to people that our preference is to be home, right? Like he also has food allergies. So our preference is for us to make
It
the
ain't really
food.
it ain't really a food out. It's like everything bothers me. So it's
Yes.
like,
Don't eat it.
yeah, it's
And
like
people
I
don't
eat.
understand that. So we're like, yo, we just want to come over here. We'll cook. And that way we know all the brands, all the things. So that was something else that was difficult, right? So set aside telling people that he can't eat this is what he can eat, and people wanting to, because people love him so well. They're like, no, you just tell me exactly what you can eat, and I'll make it for you. And
Yeah.
there's some angst with that. Like it makes us anxious because I'm like, man, one false ingredient, one wrong ingredient, and he could be hurting.
And the same thing is like since we are taking these non-biological or whatever the medicines are called.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
the medicines, whatever they're called, they lower your immune system.
Yes.
So so you can't you can't eat undercooked meat. Like if you're eating red meat, you shouldn't eat undercooked red meat because any little bit of bacteria can bother bother you. I remember I cooked I cooked Terrence Crawford because he was on some medicine at the time. It was a little undercooked, so I
Why
had
does
to.
he always give everyone's like government name? You shouldn't do that. What if he's on parole?
Terrence is my brother from another mother. Okay,
What if he didn't tell you that he was on parole?
he's not on parole. That is my brother from another
Terrence, I
mother.
hope you're not on parole.
Terrence doesn't even watch our podcast. He's too close to us. He's like, no, he already knows everything. Anyway, but
Hold on. Let's sit right here for a second.
anyway,
So this is
TC.
really a thing, right? We have a podcast. You're watching it. You're listening to it right now. Our like family, they don't watch it.
That's another episode. Anyway, TC is like undercooked meat. It's gonna make me sick. He's like, Derrick, you're trying to kill me. I was like, okay, put the hamburger back on.
Yeah.
Got it. Well done.
I was about to say something else about the hardest things, like telling our friends,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
telling
yeah.
people what you can and what you can't eat, and our preference of being here.
here because it's
Here.
my bathroom.
Yes, and it's our safe space, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about traveling and what if you eat something and then you gotta go to the bathroom and that type of thing. But there was something else I was gonna say. I can't remember.
You know, so just the hardest part for a while there was traveling.
We didn't.
Yeah. So I think it wasn't until when we go to St. Martin. What? How old?
When I turned 40.
So
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Yep. Yep. And I think I purposely went on steroids for that trip, or
I feel like you did.
one of the trips, so I could. So I mean, steroids is a miracle drug, but you can't live on them forever.
No.
They'll mess you up, but it'll take all the inflammation out your body.
Yeah.
And make you feel real good.
And also, when we would travel, like even present day, if we travel, you're not eating like meals. You're pretty much eating like your snacks that you can have, that type of thing. And which is also not good for your body because when we are traveling for hours, we're driving or we're flying. It's just not healthy for you.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have to go to the bathroom. And it's,
right. Yep. And I will say though, you know, we went to the DR the past 2 years, and the DR has been very accommodating. And Turks and Caicos was great. There was a chef there. He sat down with me, and he's the one that introduced me to cassava. And he did mashed cassava. And I remember him there. He go because there was a bunch of us in Turks and Caicos all together, and he goes, Derrick, when everybody else eats, I want you to eat.
Yeah.
So he sat down with me, and we planned out breakfast, lunch, and dinner for
the trip.
And I think we just I had my own breakfast. I think we just ended up doing lunch and dinner. And yeah, we planned out the whole trip, and he did grilled chicken, grilled shrimp, grilled salmon.
It was good.
Cassava.
I was taking bites of it.
Oh, he was amazing. Like, he was amazing. Shout out to that chef if I can remember his name.
I feel like his name was Sean.
But he made
Blue Haven Resort in Turks and Caicos.
He made that trip just amazing. I mean, we had amazing people we were celebrating an amazing time. And he made me feel like I didn't miss a beat.
Yeah. You were a part of the group. Yep. We all ate together.
Yep. Yeah. But getting there, you know, and that was
a lot of
because that was 2 plane trips, and basically I fasted until we landed, got to the hotel in Turks and Caicos. And that was like an 8-hour, because we had to fly to Texas. Switch planes, and then flew. I think we flew to Houston, and then flew from there to Turks and Caicos, because they weren't doing. Because that was they just started letting people into.
Oh yeah, that was
after
fresh.
COVID. Yeah,
like COVID was fresh. That's right.
Yeah. So they weren't doing direct flights from Charlotte to Turks and Caicos then.
So for me, having RA, I feel like your experience with Crohn's has been drastically different from mine. I mean, of course, like joints hurting.
At the beginning, before you got medicine, we was like, what is going on? What are these knots on
the nodules,
arm, and the thing locking was, your fingers locking were scary. And like,
I mean, so I was working out pretty regularly then, and I could not even hold the dumbbells. Like, my hands just felt tired.
You would drop water bottles and different things.
My water bottle, I could not hold it. Like, one, like, I don't even know where it is. One like this, I could hold with the handle, but there was one that didn't have a handle. I think it was just like a cup without the handle, and I had it like this. I would drop it. I couldn't open things. I would drop things, and it freaked me out. I was like, am I not strong anymore? Like, am I weak? I know I'm strong. You see these guns?
I'm scared.
You're so goofy. But I'm grateful that the injections did help, and God worked through the medication and the doctors, and therapy helped us mentally kind of overcome that aspect of our lives. What else?
I think
Were
if
there, go ahead. I was going to say, were there any like scriptures that held you, like carried you through?
I listen to a lot of praise and worship music. So for me,
All day, every day. If
so
he is not listening to praise and worship music, he is listening to a podcast, biblical. He's listening to a sermon. When I tell you that this man is
looking at my
saved,
Greek
yes,
flashcards.
saved. He loves the Lord, and the Lord loves him. And also, the Lord has been extremely kind and gracious to us. And that's what I've had to remind myself recently is, Dari, the Lord is so kind to you.
So, amen. Amen. So you asked me about a scripture that I held on to.
Yeah.
All of it. So,
Yeah.
and when I say that is, God's promises are his promises and he's never lied. So it's the promise and the longing that this body is temporary. It is fleeting. It is breaking down. I was just working out today and I think I tweaked my groin.
Oh, you did come in the room and say that. I was like, what are you doing?
It's like, bro, I'm like,
I feel like that's the thing. Like,
and I felt it and I said, that ain't right. And so I put the weight up and I was like, yeah, that don't feel good.
never mind.
That don't feel good. So his promise is that he's coming back. We're going to get a new heaven, new earth with fully redeemed bodies that are fully resurrected. And no racism, no sexism, no death, no disease, no decay, no sin. Don't worry about somebody talking behind your back. All of that stuff. That is my hope, and that's what I cling to.
Somebody talk behind your back?
I'm sure.
Listen,
It's back to Jesus.
I ain't always been saved.
Me either. I have some ratchetness.
You don't.
In me still.
You don't. That's me. What's Justin say about me? Justin, he says I got project tendencies.
Project tendencies, yes.
And do.
So all of Scripture and the hope and promises that are in there. That's what I long for.
This whole situation reminds me of, we are avid lovers of Chosen, where Jesus is sending the disciples out 2 by 2, and little James is
Little James.
He's
one of the disciples. Yeah.
Yes, one of the disciples. They call him Little James in the.
Not the brother of John, but the other James. Yeah.
You're right, because the brother of John, Zebedee, sons of Zebedee, he was Big James in the movie,
in the series. Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. But Little James was. There was a scene where Little James was talking to Jesus, and I'm paraphrasing, where he's saying like, Little James had an ailment, and he's like, how am I going to heal people when Jesus sends him out 2 by 2? And, because Little James has an ailment, right? Like, he's sick, he's limping, he has stuff going on with his body, and how can he heal people? And are people going to believe him? Are they going to think that he's telling the truth? Like, he's really a disciple of Jesus, and he's, really has that power to heal people. And that I'll post a link to that scene, and y'all see it for yourself. It was just so touching.
So what are you trying to say about that scene?
That
what did Jesus?
Your body may not be healed on this side of heaven.
Right.
My body may not be healed.
Right.
On this side of heaven. But when we get to heaven.
But I think the point you were trying to make is with what the actor of Jesus said to little James in that point is, how much more powerful is it going to be that you're doing those signs and
Yes.
miracles,
Yes. How much more
and
powerful is your
and
testimony?
and how much more relatable are you going to be
Yes,
to talk?
because
Yeah.
through all of this, right, even for little James, through all of the things that he was going through, he still trusted in the Lord. Through all of this, through all of our illnesses, through all of our, for richer, for poor,
No.
through everything, we are still trusting in the Lord and knowing that financially, like, or the Lord's going to provide. He's provided for us since day one. He will not provide. He's cared for us since day one. He will not care for us. That's just not who he is.
Yep.
Right? And that's what I have to remind myself. And I'm like, yeah, we may not be healed on this side of heaven.
Well, I mean, one of the writer that Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, he had a thorn in his side. We don't know exactly what
What it
that
was.
thorn in his side was or what his affliction was. And he still got up and followed Jesus every day
Yeah.
and still wrote about his church and wrote to the church and
Yeah.
called people out on their sin and was calling people to live a holy life
Yeah.
because of a holy God and what his promises.
That's what I find myself holding on to. That God is going to keep us.
Well, he said he'd never leave us or forsake us.
He's going to keep us through Crohn's disease. He's going to keep us through RA. He's going to provide the wisdom and knowledge of doctors, therapists. He's going to put the right people around us to support us, to care for him well, to care for me well, to prepare food for us, to not take it personal that we don't want to go over their house or we don't want to hang out or whatever. And listen, now we are able to hang out more and do more things outside of the home. But I'm grateful for the people that he has placed in our lives that understand that.
Yep. Amen.
Yeah, there's a understanding that had to come along with that, because people can take it personal and they could just think that it's about them, and it's not.
It's definitely not.
Yeah. What would you say to like the people that are living with a chronic disease?
One is God's still a healer. He may not heal you on this side of heaven, but you will be healed at some point as long as you are a follower and believer and have made him Lord of your life. So you either will be healed or you will be healed.
Amen.
And so it's not just people that are living with chronic diseases. There's people living with terminal diseases that, we're continuing to pray for healing.
Yeah.
God still does perform miracles on this side of heaven. And, as we were praying for my cousin who had pancreatic cancer, he's healed right now. He's just not healed on and with us today. He is healed on the other side. Now, it's still painful for us that are here and still living on this side because
not to be with him, but
Yeah.
he won't come back to us. We will go to him.
Right. Yes. So God is still a healer. He still works through medicine. People, I mean, they could the technology is great. They could come up with a cure tomorrow. Sad thing is they might not give it to us because there's more money in the medicine
Exactly.
than there is in the cure.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic and a whole nother podcast
focus.
we won't get into. So don't stop praying. Don't stop having faith. And hold on a little while longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, God's promises will not turn away void. His promises always come to pass because God is not a what? He is not a liar.
He's not. Amen. What would you say to people that are the caregivers? I guess that could be me in this situation.
Yeah, you're more the caregiver than I am in this situation. Don't stop praying.
Yeah. Don't stop praying.
Yeah, don't stop praying. Make sure that the person you're caring for hasn't lost faith and they haven't stopped praying either. And when they can't pray, pray for them. Pray with them. Be the one praying.
Yeah.
Encourage them to go get and do all their tests and follow-ups.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I do have to have blood work often. I do have to have stool sample. And, and then I have to go colonoscopies and MRIs. And MRIs aren't covered by insurance most of the time. And they're still $500 to get an MRI with insurance. It's crazy. And that thing's so it sounds like an MRI. I hate it.
Oh, I did that for my elbow.
Gosh.
Anyway, I would say to the caregivers, because he's going to ramble, I would say just keep showing up for them. Keep loving them. It's going to be difficult to witness because you're really in the front seat of their life and you're going through things with them. Keep showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep praying. If your perspective was anything like mine at the beginning, where I was like, I have to do these things, change your perspective. Change your perspective. You get to take care of them. I get to take care of my best friend.
Yeah.
I get to be there for my best friend. Yeah. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
It's disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not fun.
It's not
always fun.
And yet, we have still remained close through it all.
Mm-hmm. And we still have joy.
Yeah.
And not just have toxic positivity. There's people that are going through far worse,
for sure,
things than Crohn's and
RA. Yeah.
And RA. So it's just a reminder to all of us to communicate and care for and love your fellow neighbor. You don't know what each person in each person's house is going through, and just because they look healthy on the outside doesn't mean you know what's going on the inside in many different ways: mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah. And laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Humor has been a part of our lives since day one. Like, we laugh together. Like, you're hilarious.
You've never said that before.
You are hilarious.
You say I'm corny is what you say.
He's super corny, like dad joke corny, like, what are you saying? You are hilarious, though.
Humor is probably...
I try not to get... You know what?
You don't want to hype me up. That's what it is.
I don't
get him started.
Because when somebody... when you...
Because I'll keep going.
You don't stop. Oh. And that's why I'm like, chill, don't. But you are hilarious, though.
That's probably why...
Don't say it.
That's probably why I'm not on stage.
On stage? What?
Yeah, like preaching or whatever, because, like, I might not come... Like, I always said, if I could sing, bro... revival would break out. We'd have praise and worship for 5 hours. I'd be like, let it go. I'd be like,
Bro,
we would just keep going, or I would lose my voice. We would
are-
just keep going.
you can sing.
I
You cannot, honestly. You can't.
don't
Make
know.
a joyful noise.
I don't know. We having a workshop at church on Thursday.
you're not
Yes,
singing.
yes. You don't know. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I have untapped talent that just hasn't been worked with yet.
This is getting really awkward because how do you break it to your husband that he cannot sing? Yeah, that long pause, awkward.
Wasn't awkward. You ain't gonna steal my joy.
Anyway, I feel like you're hilarious. You're funny to me. And I'll keep laughing at you through the sickness and the health.
She said laughing at me. She didn't say laughing with me. She said laughing at me.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Y'all, check on the people that have chronic illness. Check on them. Just see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Ask them how the medication is going. Have they been to the doctor? Are you having any flare-ups? Like, really?
What can I pray for you for?
Yeah. How can I care for you? What do you need? Check on them. It means a lot. It means a lot when people just show up for us unexpectedly, when people are like, have got our food regimen down and they're like, we're just going to bring you some food. I'm like, oh, yes. My love language. Bring my husband some food so I don't have to cook for him. But you cook for yourself a lot. We're not even going to talk about that. We cook a lot. Anyway. I love you.
Love you too. Thanks for caring for me well.
There's no other way that I would be. There's nobody else I want to care for. I mean, them kids. Oh, wait. Talk about...
No.
Nothing else?
What was you going to say?
I don't know.
Talk about.
Talk about. No, nothing else. I do love you. And I'm honored to be able to care for you, though. Seriously. And I do not want anyone else caring for me when I'm down. You do care for me well. But you care for me well every day, even if I'm not down. And I love that about you. Thank you for showing up for me and being my blankie, my emotional support person all the time. I'm like, I need you. It's okay. Everything is, I could be so anxious, but if Derrick's there with me, I'm like, still anxious, but not so anxious. There's levels to anxiety. I'm anxious, but you calm me down, and thank you. Thank you for letting me care for you, even through just the things that don't feel like you want to share with people. Letting me in on those things and loving you well.
To God be the glory.
Yep. If this episode resonated with you, share it.
If this episode didn't resonate with you, share it.
What we're saying is share it regardless. No, seriously, like, share, comment.
This is some good stuff and people need to hear it. So get it out there, people.
Okay. We love y'all. I don't know if y'all's kids do that.
Just wrap it up.
Okay, sorry. We love y'all and we thank y'all so much from the bottom of our heart for supporting us. All of our
Patreon. I'm just kidding.
We're not on Patreon.
It sounds good. I've heard other people say it.
They have.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the supporters, the followers that followed us since day one when we started this podcast, and all the new people, I am so grateful for y'all. Also, we are accepting advertisements. So if you would like for us to advertise your product, like say you have a water bottle, I'm not going to show you the name of this one, but you have a water bottle, you got a book, you got some cereal, we probably won't eat the cereal. I don't know. Yeah, we're taking advertisements. Yep. And this episode, like the episode with my daddy, is sponsored by 4 Dimensional Consulting LLC, where we bring your vision to life. You like it? A little jingle? Anyway, bye, y'all. We love you.
Bye.